Okay, I'm back. And now let's continue with this. Probably gonna go to Anaxa and see what he is planning
By
on
carefully
doing.
into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Huh?
Virtuous citizens of Akama, Finan Vides, Elysiae, and the Outlander are heading toward us.
Huh? Wait. Why? Am I not allowed or what?
Aglaya, what happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
Yeah, so basically you got lazy. Right?
What do you mean?
She got lazy.
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites, no longer capable of relating to the people.
See, this is also what I said in the last one.
This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
For me to cower and flee.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances.
Well, that's what a council does.
There is no glory in winning this debate. But that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply with humans.
Yeah, because he hasn't got a core flame yet. Wait, don't tell me he's gonna get Keflas. Even though that's what Anaxa is trying to do.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Even though I'm just throwing random stuff out. And also, when are we going to be getting back to March 7th? When is she going to actually come down to Euphorius and then we find out what the hell is going on? Find out her connection to Aglaya. Oh, is also what was said in the last one what Anaxa was doing, manipulation of souls and that. Did he do something to Aglaya that brought March into being? So is that right? Come on, let's get back to March already.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphorius was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kefali's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you.
And that is...
Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice. Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
Well, there's no advancing if you don't evolve with the times. Because you can't go back. Can you?
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three Titans of Calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again.
Wait. Let them be reborn, it dies. Destroy them, it... Huh? Wait. So... What? If we're gonna get the cold flames, they haven't been killed yet, so the 10... Or are you just saying reborn in a new body, which basically what they'll do if the cold flame is taken and put into a mold? Is that what you're saying? Oh.
Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side.
Anaxa and Castorice. Well, Anaxa was already there, but... Castorice, why are you there? I thought you was on the Goliath side.
Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages. And Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death.
Or is this what he wanted? Equivalent exchange, which she agreed to without even hearing about it. So, in other words, wasn't she tricked into this? And she has to go through with it.
With the help of these two heroes, I can promise all of you that Era Chrysia will exist once more.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaia isn't fit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Era Chrysia.
Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
Yeah, she does not like being there. But this is what happen when you agree to something without knowing the terms. Castorice.
Castorice? Why are you standing over there?
She has no choice.
You finally arrived, Naxa. So have you, Cass.
But then again, it doesn't seem like Aglaia was a... It does seem like she was expecting it.
Don't worry, Aglaia. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do? Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
Castorice is going to be doing that, isn't she?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphorius back to an era when all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
Just because you get rid of the Death Titan does not mean death is gone. Death is a common thing.
He's one of the 7 sages. That's impossible.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Fagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
That's why everyone's coming to the Holy City, because they not even touching this place. Of course they're not going to see it.
If we eliminate death, then there's no need for us to fear that Flame Reaver, right?
Oh, so you'd rather people suffer an agony, not able to die, while he tortures them for all eternity. You would rather put people through that. You heartless witch. Heartless bitch.
Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Erechrysia, return to the mortal realm.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the Flame Chase journey will have to end.
Erechrysia! Yes! Yes! It has to end! It has to end! It has to end! It has to end!
You quiet.
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
We don't need any more help from the peanut gallery, thank you.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorice brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders.
Yeah, until... Wait. Okay. Okay, Oh. Okay, if this does happen, I fear for what might happen. But... this might actually explain a few things. Maybe. As I say, I don't know. As I say, I'm just guessing. The best thing you can do with this situation is guess what's going to happen. So, if this does happen, you keep the core flame. Yes, it might be safe there until March wakes up, and then we find out that she's come down here and she gets that core flame. Okay, then if that's the case, then she'll probably like become a second Aglaia, but a 5-star version of March 7th. Okay, that actually might work. Because Don Hung's got his 5-star version. Seriously, what do you have to? What do you have to? Damn it! I can't. Yeah, I can't remember. Well, and Himiko. Yeah. Okay, there. Finally got them. They've all got a 5-star version. And because, as I said, way back, March 7th is connected to Aglaia in some way. She gets this core flame, she becomes her 5-star variant. Or what? Which, then would she technically be a destruction unit? But then again, it's the same as Dan Hang. He became a destruction unit when he became a Imbibiru Lune. That is if that all happens. But as well, that would also probably explain why we kind of see her trying to seal herself in ice, because she's kind of like starting to lose control of herself, maybe? I don't know. And with the last bit of her strength, she's going to seal herself in ice as she was when they first found her. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. How are we going to play through that? Or are we going to play into something else which is going to go nowhere near that? Because we still got to deal with March, what she's dealing with.
Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Era Chrysia will return to our world once again.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. Buy carefully into Lent and above, as the Theoros I have observed. Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
Yes, I like this. Fantastic. Yes.
Aglaia, dear Aglaia, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the Flame Chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Alright, so, yeah. So as like I said, what I said does seem plausible of everything that might happen. But, as I said, stupid Castorice agreeing to something before you even know the terms. You're only there because of it. Because of that one incident.
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
No, as I said, technically she has no choice. She doesn't want to.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
Seriously, what was a mouth just doing? Seriously, why does it keep doing that every now and again?
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
Anaxa is forcing me. Because he gave me something and then equal exchange, I have to do less for him. I don't not have a choice. He's basically turned me into a slave. That's basically what he's done.
In actuality, he showed me a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen.
That has a dragon.
Until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. The queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. That liar called this process the secret art of alchemy.
As like I said way back, delicious in dungeon. The siblings, the sister gets eaten. They leave the dungeon. They go back into the dungeon, kill the dragon, slit open his stomach. Sister's already dead, already been turned into bones, already been digested. They revive her with the blood of the dragon and its flesh. Honestly, why?
The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp.
Okay, delicious in dungeon. She didn't do a lot when she came back, but she did sort of revert into half dragon and follow someone, but not eat people. She didn't eat people.
Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well. Until...
Until?
Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
Oh, my... It seems that you still like to whet people's appetites even after all this time, Pelixia.
Okay, so Castorice was shown this, but Cersei's... What, can she actually see this or not? Because she couldn't see it before.
So, according to your story, this is how I used to look? It's practically a mirror image.
Wait, she can actually see it now. She couldn't see it earlier. How? What's different? Are they actually using those memory crystal things to get this?
And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy.
Okay.
As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Okay, so you did, so she can see it now. That explains it.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh? I've heard this legend before.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange?
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead.
Huh.
What? At a loss for words?
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However, perhaps because of my firm belief in the immeasurable value of life, I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins for this exact purpose.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphorius's history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held 3 hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Yes, you have, but... the person who becomes Nikador.
Regarding this matter...
whatever his name is, I can't remember.
Nias. Are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
And bear Nikador.
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
You'll go crazy as Nikador.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity, sacrifice, and reason.
It was himself that did it.
You really know how to make things difficult.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it.
Just like everyone else.
Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. If your sister or Chaos were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
Wait. So Nias does this, and then we go technically back in time to help Nias do a trial to put himself back together, but what? Huh? Why? Nias, before he loses himself, splits himself into parts. Then we go back and put him back together with his help. What the hell? You call that good story writing? I don't.
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior is Lord Nias.
Yes?
As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness.
Yeah.
That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is, in fact,
Nias before he became corrupted by Nikador.
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attain their divinity.
Yes, as like I said. Going back to Hule. And that beast heart that they've got.
If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia. Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Nias.
You don't have to witness it, you already know. He already split himself open and we changed it. Honestly. Yeah. We're gonna be dealing with all of that, so... Okay, yeah, I would normally leave right now, but since we're already in the middle of this whole thing, I'm gonna keep going. Because there's kind of no point in stopping. We started it, we're still in the middle of it, there's not enough time to take a break.
Nikador's courage is a testament that they have never once retreated from a battle.
I've heard that these words are still engraved in Castrum Kremnos even today. It didn't occur to me that they were actually part of an alchemical formula. Sealed within this statue is undoubtedly his sacrifice.
They use their own body as our city walls, keeping out and protecting us from the pervasive spread of madness. They are acutely aware that if the end times were to arrive, there would be nothing left in this world to conquer.
Honor, courage,
Right?
tenacity,
I think it's just read them all.
sacrifice.
Why couldn't I read them all?
And finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
How does someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living, afford the same amount of bliss? Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
Yeah.
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm. Elixia. I'm here.
Yeah, Castorice, back there. So, wait.
What? This...
This is quite interesting indeed.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Is this... Elixia's sister?
Okay, but it's a spin image of Castorice.
Is it... me?
Oh, but wait, so then... You don't even know anything about your sister? That is you?
Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Even if it was prophesized, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
You're wrong, Elixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers, one that is more beautiful than the promised land at the end of the world. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me, what exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. to extract my heart and light the flame of death. After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Ah, now this is playing back into it. That question.
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call and lead you to the sacred daylight. Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life. As for the price of our equivalent exchange, let me be the one to pay it.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough.
Yeah, that's just because you've already got Cersei's inside you. You can't have two. So that is Castorice's backstory, which basically Plixia is a twin sister who is the Titan of Death. Thanatos. I'm going to keep saying Thanos. Just seems more like it. More fun. And she was brought back to life, but with no memories. But death still follows her. I'm still confused.
I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world.
Yeah, the previous Flame Chase journey.
Just like the Flame Chase journey of today, Amphorius's history is cyclical in nature.
Huh. What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new Titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
Yeah, basically.
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
This is utterly unbelievable.
Yeah, you finding out you got a sister. Twin sister.
Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town?
Yeah.
The birthplace of alchemy and the tale of the dragon.
Yeah, and you're her twin sister.
In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
But the people there worship Fagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Your body probably wasn't tugged there, your soul was just released from there.
Take this.
This is...
The Nusporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sages' wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation. Remember, I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Netherrealm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Castorice. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
Yeah, to be on his side.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, her life is also slowly slipping away.
So, is my soul going to the Netherworld, or is it already there, trying to escape? I don't know.
But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
Past events.
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart?
Ooh.
If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body. What's the big deal?
Well, he's lost so many things in his life. Why not keep it going? At least this one's gonna help someone.
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
Yeah, I can become the next you. Currently.
That's a lot to take in at once.
Yeah, so, okay, so this is after you went there, so you did get the evidence that you was looking for. You did see the city sticks, right? And, or connection to it. I don't know. I don't know what you were looking for, but...
Lady Aglaya, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anaxa has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mrs. Soul.
Even though I am standing right here.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
Well, then again, technically she does. If it's a world without death, she could actually be close to people, but still.
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
Wait, what does that mean?
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castorice and meet the god of death himself.
Yeah, because they have my soul right now.
Castorice, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Aglaia.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in? Lady Treby is probably...
The answer is quite simple.
Fly.
In the myths, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the Netherrealm as they pleased. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Marmorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
Okay. So, is that it now? Alright. Good. But still a little confusing-ish, I think. Is there any... No. I always kind of think that when we come back here, there's something linked to that, like there was when we first came here. Did it a few times, but I didn't really do anything. But... So, that is basically Castorice's reason why she's on the opposing side to Aglaia.
No.
Is it good or bad, does everyone think? Because, okay, she probably wants to know more about her past, which we found out that she had the twin sisters, has the cold flame of Thanos, and is now the, well, Titan of Death. She released her sister's soul so she could come back to life, but still with no memories.
Nice.
So start fresh. So she didn't like come after her or something. I don't know. But yeah. But anyway, I know, as I said, probably to forget, to make sure no one goes to her. Making her sister forget her memories will prevent that, but we're still going there anyway. Maybe in the next one, I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully we kinda get somewhere. I hope. But that is like gonna be it. We went for a council meeting. But then we went to a council meeting. We didn't go to the assembly, but we listened to a story about Castorice's backstory. To the reason why Castorice was on that side, which we also found a backstory. Quite a bit to digest, but it still kind of works and all that, but yep, whatever. But that is also where I'm going to be leaving it. So when I come back tomorrow, I'll be heading to meet Aglaia, and then we'll find Cypher, or Cypher will be there, and then we'll go to this town and city, ancient city, and get over there. And maybe this might start bringing it close to the end. Like, if we do get the core flame, it's going to be held. And like I said, in the end, March is going to come down, she's going to take it, and then she's going to, before she loses herself, as we saw in the trailer, she's going to freeze try to conceal herself in a block of ice. Because that is what we saw. Or at least the start of her concealing herself in ice. Right? It's been a while since the initial trailer of Euphorius, which did show that. But we'll just have to see if it goes in the way I have just predicted. Hope it does. And hope it ends. It gets better further down the line. I hope. But, as I always say, that is going to be it. So, I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun. And, yeah. Okay. Bye.